Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back to the Uncle Sharma channel. Here we are today to do a tier list ranking of the Inter 2020-2021 season, of the whole squad, of everything that's gone on. How are you guys doing? First of all, I'm going to let a few people come into the chat. Obviously this could be a video that I could just do myself, edit it, and just post out, but I was interested in doing this in a live fashion, so you guys can actually put forth your opinions on everything. You could I'll put obviously my squad tier, and then I don't know, maybe at the end you guys, I'll let you have maybe one or two player that you guys can move up or down, depending on what the chat is saying. If everyone's rioting over a particular one player, then I'll just have to listen to you guys. Obviously, if you hear, leave a thumbs up before we get cracking. Should be an interesting video. Interesting to hear you guys' thoughts. Obviously, it's been a difficult couple of weeks since Antonio Conte left. All this drama going outside of Inter in terms of Suning, the money situation. Inter needing to make the 70-80 million or whatever it is. So I wanted to focus back on the positive side of things, on Inter. Let's not forget, guys, I know it doesn't feel like it, but we won the Scudetto, and by a big margin. This was a great season for Inter and Interisti. Let's not forget. So I want to, today in this video, let's focus back on this great historical season where we clinched the Scudetto after 11 years. I know it's been easy. It's been kind of been swept under the rug recently with all the drama going on. But let's take it back and let's think back on this great season. And let me pull up the tier ranking that I have taken from someone who's made it very kindly on the tier list website. And this is and obviously I've edited the different the tiers. So obviously we're starting off with the bottom ones would be che schifo, which in Italian means garbage, awful, whatever, however you want to, I used to, in my previous tier list, I used to call it the shite category. Then we got the room for improvement category. These are more the guys that didn't really get a chance to play. Then the meh, not much I could say there. Solid, great, and then MVP level. So pretty self-explanatory, I would say. I don't think I need to explain it to you guys. And then I've got, obviously, we can talk through some of the stats. We've got the goal, assist, and stats, and minutes played here. I'm gonna just pull up these little basic stats. Then we can go through. And basically pretty much that. Not much activity in the comments, guys. Let me know who's in the house. People usually let me know who's in, just so I can give you a quick shout out, whoever's in the house, for being early, being on time on this video. We got Mohammed Gassim in the house. He feels like, literally, bro. That's what I was just saying there. It feels like it's been 2 years, even though it's only been like what, two weeks, even if that. It's crazy. It's crazy. Got Mohammed Kindi in the house. Got my man Smiley as well. Big man repping. Got Loom. Yeah, we've got the whole world in here. Worldwide. We're going worldwide. Off from New Jersey as well. Beethoven's La Guerre. What's up, bro? But yeah, I'm ready to get cracking. We've got 12, 13 people in the house. And then obviously, if anyone comes in later, you can always rewatch and skip through however you feel. And we'll start off with the funny, or the easiest category, I think, which is the che schifo category, the disgusting player category, I guess you could say. Easy one. And we're gonna give the awards. We're gonna give the season awards as well here, guys, or my season awards, in terms of best player, worst signing, all that kind of stuff. Most improved player, most disappointing player. So let's start off with the che schifo category, so we can just get it out of the way. Alexander Kolarov, guys. He is my worst signing and my worst player of the season. I don't think I need to explain too much there, do I? Alexander Kolarov. Let's see what his stats are saying. Where is he? Where is this war criminal? This Serbian war criminal? Can't even bloody see him. Where is he? Oh yeah, there he is. Alexander Kolarov in the Serie A, 387 minutes, 1 assist, 6.48 rating by Who Scored. Just, yeah, not much to say there. Not contributed much, only contributed negatively. We know that derby, the Milan derby, where he gave away the penalty to Zlatan, and then let Zlatan go stand behind him. And then in general, he's just been a menace. You know, we know he's got a great left foot. He's got those things. He's, you know, but defensively, he's just been a liability. And yeah, for me, Alexander Kolarov has to be in the Keskifo category. What do you guys say? Let me have a look. I feel like I should do Premiere because I didn't even know you was going live. Yeah, I've tested that in the past. I might test it in the future, but yeah, good suggestion. I've tested it in the past, but my channel wasn't. Yeah, it was still quite a small channel when I tried it last time. Yeah, as Karim says, his inter-career highlight is literally he was getting Ibra red carded. You know, that's his high. That's his highlight for Alexander Kolarov. Literally that moment in the Coppa Italia where he laughed after Zlatan got red carded for the second yellow. And actually, even that in that Coppa Italia match, even though that was his highlight, even in that he was again a fault for Zlatan scoring. So yeah, just a really bad season for me for Alexander Kolarov. So we can cut that short there. We don't need to talk too much about Kolarov. I'm sure all you guys agree in that Keskifo category. And then the other one that can easily go there is the Raja Nainggolan. You know, you guys know if you've been following me for a while. He's a player that I've liked over the years. He's a player that I wanted to enter when he was at Roma, when he was at Cagliari, but he's just broke my heart in terms of his attitude, what he didn't bring to Inter, you know, his lack of professionalism. He just clearly didn't want to be at Inter. This season, you know, even if you probably ask a Cagliari fan, they'll probably put him in a similar category. You know, I think he's only had like 1 goal, 0 assists for them this season. So it wasn't like last season where he was you know, some of us were even saying like, oh, maybe it was a mistake to let him go on loan. We had ended the season with 6 goals, 7 assists, but this season he's been awful for us. I think combined for Inter, he's got like 45 minutes, I think 41 minutes in the Serie A, and I think he's got a few minutes in the Champions League. Provided nothing, contributed nothing, lowest rating in the team, even lower than Padelli. So yeah, for me, Raja Nainggolan, another easy entry into that category. Let's see if anyone says anything about it. Yeah, I guess you're talking about Kolarov. Yeah, he had that assist against Parma, and that one switch of play from Kolarov to Hakimi at the beginning of the season with the Benevento, and then we didn't really get to see that. But yeah, but Nainggolan, another one in the Keskifo category, another easy one for me. I'm sure you all agree. I'll be surprised if you guys don't agree with that one. And then right now, I can't really think of anyone else. Obviously, you guys can tell me if you think anyone else. I can imagine who you guys are going to say in the Keskifo category. And I know I've said keeping it unbiased at the bottom, and I am going to try to keep it unbiased. So you guys try to keep it unbiased as well. But I have a feeling who you guys are going to say should be in the Keskifo category. But we'll move on to the room for improvement category. You know, these, as I said, these are guys in terms of room for improvement, just in terms of they didn't really get much time on the pitch. So, you know, it wasn't really their fault. So Andre Jonut Radu definitely is in there. Poor guy. Even when Handanovic was dropping stinker after stinker in that period of there was a period of, 2 or 3 weeks where, we were all calling for, Radu to at least get a chance, at least in the Coppa Italia, against Fiorentina. He should have got a chance and he didn't. Only right at the end when the Scudetto was clinched and secured, did he get some time. But even then, there was times where Handanovic started and he had to come on as a sub in the second half. And, I didn't think he did too bad. Obviously he showed some rust. The guy didn't play. He didn't start for over a year since his days at Genoa. So I would expect some rust for a keeper coming in like that. And I hope, if we don't keep him, at least he goes to a team that gives him a chance as a starter, because he's shown that at Genoa there. He's not going to be a world class keeper, but he's a Serie A level keeper, and he's still quite young. So I hope he gets a chance into the future. Obviously, same thing goes for Pinamonti. What did he Pinamonti? I mean, 164 minutes in the league, man. 1 goal against who was against Sampdoria, wasn't it? Just didn't get the chance of 1 start, 7 substitute appearances. It's just a shame. Another one that, he's a Serie A level player. It's just Conte clearly didn't rate him, similar to Radu, and just never got his chance. We paid quite heftily for him in that deal with Genoa, where they paid 16 million or something for him the season before, and then we had a buyback, so it was a scratch your back, or scratch my back situation, where we made a plusvalenza, we made a capital gain on him last season to help us in the books, but then Genoa clearly said that, okay, you got to buy him back to help us make that capital gain again. And once again, if he doesn't stay at Inter, I hope he gets to a team where he's given a chance to at least get more than the 170 whatever minutes he got this season at Inter. Let's see, are you guys saying anything compared to? Yeah, it seems like you guys are agreeing with the Nainggolan. Jacobud, is this regarding Radu or Pinamonti, or both, I guess? Pinamonti doesn't really show potential. I hope I'm wrong, but he should. Yeah, I've never really rated him that highly, Pinamonti, but I think he's a Serie A level player, and I think he should have got more minutes this season, especially in terms of resting Lukaku a little bit more. Interista says Inzaghi is known for introducing new goalkeepers. Kicked out Marchetti, then Berisha, then Strakosha, Radu next number 1. Yeah, you are right in that. It's a good point in terms of he's shown, that he's willing to take a risk on that goalkeeper position, because Strakosha was clearly the number 1. But then he shifted to a more ball-playing goalkeeper with the Pepe Reina, but it didn't really pay off. Pepe Reina, you can ask Lazio fans, he's not had a good season. He's been at fault for many of the goals they've conceded. He's been great in terms of being able to ping those passes to Milinkovic-Savic and stuff. But yeah, Inzaghi coming in with a fresh mind. Maybe he's not so attached to Handanovic. He could take that risk in terms of, not starting Handanovic, or, saying that, I want to give Radu a chance. But I don't know if Radu, as I've said, I don't think he is the answer to the Inter's number 1 position on the long term. So I wouldn't be sure there. But if we sign someone that's, willing to be at the similar level of Handanovic, at least, as we've been saying, the Cragnos, the Mussos, the Silvestris of this world, someone like Magnan, who AC Milan signed, someone who's not too expensive but willing to be challenging Handanovic, then we could see a situation like that where maybe Inzaghi does push, start to slowly push Handanovic out of the window. Inzaghi seemed to prefer a ball-playing goalkeeper, but Radu, from what I've seen, he is pretty good with his feet. I think the main issue is just his actual goalkeeping ability that I think the doubts are. But I think ball playing, I think he's considered to be really good. Yeah, we're pretty much confirmed that we're signing the Crotone goalkeeper Cordaz, who used to play for the Italy for the Inter Primavera, so he helps out with the list. Padelli is going to Udinese. That's been confirmed. He's an Udinese player, so we'll be able to. We're going to have to see whether Cordaz is coming in as a number 3, as Padelli was this season, or is he coming in as a number 2? Hopefully, this is more of a number 3. He's a 38 years old keeper who's he's shown he's done some decent saves when Crotone obviously faced like 50 shots a match, so there's not much he can do there. But he's not a great keeper, so I think he's coming to end his career where he started it, as is a Primavera product of Inter. So I hope he's coming in as the number as the number 3. But yeah, let's go back to the tier list, guys, and try to be a bit more quicker with these. So Pinamonti and Radu in there for room for improvement, because they just didn't get a chance. Who else? Who else do you think we could put in there? I think Padelli, the poor guy. I know he didn't barely get any minutes, but the few minutes he got, I remember him just coming out for that ball and trying to header it, and he completely missed it and it went behind him. So even though he only got like 45 minutes, I might just have to put him there, poor guy. But he's been an Inter fan his whole life. You saw with that video he posted on his social media, he seemed to be quite emotional with Inter winning Scudetto. So shouts out to him for that. Or am I being too harsh on him there? I don't know. Am I being too harsh? I think Filip Stankovic, obviously, room for improvement. I think the guy, didn't get any minutes. He's very young still part of the Primavera. Let's see if Inter move him up or down in terms of, maybe he could become the third keeper or something. But I want him to continue playing and maybe get some minutes out somewhere else. Obviously, the name always brings added pressure, I think, in terms of, the expectations. Stankovic, yeah, as Jakubut says, Stankovic in the second tier. I don't think there's much need to be said. We haven't seen him play, unless you guys watch the Primavera. I've not really seen him play. I hear good things about him, but let's not put too much pressure on him in terms of that. And yeah, I think for those two categories, let me know, guys. I think I'm pretty happy in terms of, I don't think there was any other guys that didn't get, their rightful chance. Maybe, I guess you could say Vecino. Yeah, Vecino in terms of his, but he's, that's a difficult one because he was injured for most of the season, so it's not really his fault. And he did do pretty well in those few minutes he got at the end of the season. He got a goal, he got an assist. So it's not really his fault. We could put him in the meh category. I think we'll put him in the meh category. I know it's not his fault for the injuries, but he is more of a seasoned part of the team, and Conte he has been fit for a while. It's just that Conte didn't decided to not to rotate really in the squad. What do you guys think of on Vecino? Should he be in the meh category or room for improvement? Vecino's solid, bro. He played like what? Let's have a look at his. Let me have a look at Vecino's stats. Where is he? Matias Vecino. Where are you, my brother? Matias Vecino, 3 starters. He started 3 matches, 5 sub appearances, 280 minutes. 1 goal, 1 assist. I don't know how I can put him in the solid cat, even though those appearances have been solid. But I feel like you need to have at least like 8 or 9 or 10 appearances to get into that solid category. So I'm putting Vecino. I'm keeping Vecino in the meh category. And then someone mentioned there Sensi. Let's go with my next award. Sensi has been my most disappointing player of the season, and I'm going to put him in the meh category. Let me have a quick look at his stats. Where is he? Stefano Sensi here. He is 4 start matches in the Serie A, 14 sub appearances, only 596 minutes, but most importantly, 0 goals and 0 assists. Contributed nothing, concretely, but there was a period where he had some good sub appearances. And we're saying, let me see if FBref can back me up on this in terms of his actual contribution when he actually came on. So shot creating actions per 90. Yeah, you can see when it comes to shot creating actions per 90, Stefano Sensi is right up there with Sanchez. Let's ignore Nangolan because he had like bloody 30 or is it 45 minutes. But next to Sanchez, next to Lukaku, Sensi was really high at 5 shot creating actions per 90. And there was a period where he was coming on and changing matches. Against Napoli, I remember him a good sub appearance. There was a few other good sub appearances. He played well against Cagliari in one of the last few matches, but his injuries, guys, has just been. I mean, we've seen with Italy as well now. He's injured once again. Little Sensi, he's made of glass. His legs, his muscles are just not made to play football. It's sad to say, and I wouldn't be surprised if this guy retires early with the way things are going. I know he's not got any career-ending injuries. He's not had any ACLs or big operations, but these little niggling injuries can just take it out of you. And it has become a mental thing with him. He is bound to become a mental thing. That was one of the reasons, I think, as Alakim says, legs of cheese. Conte was, even when he was fit, there was a period like with Vecino there where he was fit, but Conte, I think, was just reluctant to play him just because he's scared, like, if I put this guy on, I'll be wasting a substitution if he gets injured. And just, ability to handle the Pintus and Conte training method. So, and we thought, going with Italy, it seems like he thrives a little bit more with Italy, but the other day it's confirmed that he's out of the Italy squad now. Pessina takes his spot because he got injured in training. And again, it's not a serious injury, just I think it's a thigh strain, but that's the injury that he's been getting. So yeah. As from the Block 15 says, even Pintus can't open, which says a lot. Pintus, that's the one failure, and the Pintus is 2 years at Inter. Stefano Sensi. Pintus probably has a picture of Sensi in his home, like, I couldn't help him. But yeah, I love Sensi, man, as a player. I love him, but yeah, he has to go in the meh category. And the thing seems like most of you agree, but what a shame. That was I was one of the few that was willing to keep Sensi, because I was like, Pintus, the training team maybe knows a bit more about his body. They can cope with his training method a bit more, personalize it, but no, it didn't work. And then the next one in the meh category, and you see, guys, I'm putting bias aside. I don't think he deserves. I know maybe some of you guys are going to say he's going to be in the Schifo category, but Arturo El Rey, King Vidal, I think deserves to be in the meh category. I expected a lot more from him in terms of goal contributions, because that's one of the main things I felt like he would be adding to the team. He's a midfielder that adds goals and assists wherever he's been. Every single season you go back to his career, he has minimum 5-6 goals. Last season at Barcelona, he had like 9-10 goals from midfield. And he was, you could say he's already on the decline. But this season, Arturo Vidal, what does he have? Like 1 goal, 1 assist. Let me just confirm. Yeah, 1 goal, 1 assist. But what a goal that was, guys. Let's not forget the goal against Juventus, dunking on Danilo's head in the Derby d'Italia after kissing the badge, as people were saying, the Juve badge before the match. That goal is one of my favorite moments of the season. That goal, Arturo Vidal's goal against Juventus, killing, Juventini's hearts. Obviously, Barella's goal was even nicer afterwards. But for me, the memory of that Inter-Juventus game is that Arturo Vidal goal. So I'm going to remember him forever for that. And also, Vidal, guys, he was one of the few guys, let's not forget, at the beginning of the season that was mentioning the word Scudetto. I know people were, Steven Zhang made his interview the other day where people were saying he's saying we're not going for the Scudetto, we're going for top 4. But at the beginning of last season, Conte, Marotta, Zhang, no one mentioned the word Scudetto. They were still talking about top 4 and trying to get to the top. And you know who the only player was that mentioned the word Scudetto from the beginning when he signed? Arturo Vidal. He was the only one who said, and people were flaming him because he was saying that even after he got sent off against Real Madrid, he didn't have some great performances. People were disappointed in him. I was disappointed in him, but he was still saying things like, for the Champions League, he was saying, if I'm at Inter, because Vidal is a serial winner, but the one thing he doesn't have is the Champions League, and he was saying, I won the Champions League. And obviously we know how it worked out, and he was definitely one of the worst players in our Champions League campaign. But when I look at the Serie A campaign, I feel like people were overly harsh on Vidal. I think he had decent time. And let's not forget that beginning part of the season, we were playing that 3-4-1-2, and he was punished being played deeper. He should be in that formation where we're playing now in the 3-5-2, one of the box to box, getting into the box. But in that 3-4-1-2, next to Brozovich or next to Barella in one of the sitting roles, that was not his role. There was some lack of discipline, but I felt like he was still decent. Against Lazio, he got immobilised enough. I thought he had a good match there. Benevento at the beginning of the season, coming on against Fiorentina. There was one match against Torino where he came on with his pressing. He changed the match, went into 1-4-2. So yeah, overall, I feel like people were being overly harsh on Vidal due to his Champions League campaign, which I admit was not good. And then there was that Crotone match where he was subbed at halftime, where that was another one of my favorite moments of the season, where Conte shouted at him, "Arturo, gioca non rompere il cazzo, gioca non rompere il cazzo," when he, got booked. He let someone go past him for the corner goal. I think he gave away a penalty in that as well. Got subbed at halftime, and then since that, he's not really recovered into the team. But then again, he had a good match against Milan in the Coppa Italia, the Juventus match, and then he had the injuries as well. Physically, he's not that player anymore. So for me, yeah, Arturo Vidal goes in the meh category. Oh yeah, no, the room for improvement is just for the guys that didn't even get a chance. So I can't even really. I just needed to make a category that was, in the for those people that didn't really get a chance. We can move it up if you feel like it's an issue. Let me just move it up if you disagree with the placement of it. There you go. So the room for improvement is there. I don't know. I want to keep the mayor category up there. It's just for those guys that didn't get a chance to play. But yeah, Arturo Vidal for me in the mayor category. Yeah, scoring after kissing the Juve badge. Stephen be like, let's get vaccine for Scudetto 19 ASAP. Sassuolo Vidal. Yeah, that was the one where that was literally the match straight after the Real Madrid sending off, where the whole fan base was against him. They were calling for his head, but Conte started him once again. And against Sassuolo, when we went to the 3-5-2, that was one of the turning points of the season, that match against Sassuolo, where we went back to the 3-5-2, a little bit deeper. Him, Vidal, Gagliardini in midfield. And yeah, he had a good performance there. No, we don't know. There's no been announcement in terms of season start in Serie A. Leave it quite late as usual. You know how Italian Serie A, they always leave things late. Super Cup will be, it usually is, towards the late part of the season, as we saw with the Napoli Juventus match that they played around, was it January or February time? So yeah, no announcements in that. Yes, since he could be in the room for improvement, but he was also not great. Like, he has 0 goals and 0 involvements, and all his injuries. It just, yeah, I don't know, because he's my disappointment of the season. So I feel like, yeah, you're right. Maybe he could be down there, but we can have a vote. We can have a vote at the end of this video, and you guys can vote for who should go down. But let me just put my feelings, my thoughts for now, and then we can have a vote at the end. Yeah, the Super Cup will be in Saudi Arabia. I think they've announced that, but I don't think they've announced the date. That Saudi money coming in. Gagliardini, yeah, Gagliardini against Sassuolo was good as well. Please don't put Gagliardini in the solid category. Okay, Caro, let's go on to Gagliardini. Guys, you guys, let me know what you guys think Gagliardini should be in. Let's have a think of a Gagliardini. This one's going to be a tricky one, because when you think about it, let's have a look at his stats. Gagliardini, where are you? Roberto Gagliardini, 14 starts, 14 sub-appearances, 1,228 minutes in the league, 3 goals, 2 assists. Not too bad, to be honest. He's up there. Let's see where he ranks in terms of minutes played. He's in the top 13 in terms of minutes played. So he has been a vital cog to our Scudetto run. You can see here I've grouped them by minutes. So he is up there in terms of, he was there when there was lots of injuries, when Vidal was injured, when Brozovich was suspended, when we had issues, he was there. When we had COVID issues, he was there. Gagliardini stepping in. And in the end, as we said, he contributed, there was that Sassuolo match. He scored a great goal. Obviously, he turns up against Sampdoria, usual, against the Genoa teams. He always turns up. I'm struggling not to put him in the solid category, to be honest. I know Karim, you said don't put him in the solid category, but I don't recall a bad match from him. I don't feel like he's dropped clangers like, Vidal has. He's been fit, he's been reliable, whenever we've needed him, he's been solid. So I know you guys don't like him. I know I personally, he's not one of my favorite guys in the team, but he's had a solid season. And I think you guys look like you're agreeing with me. A good performance against Sassuolo, also appearance against Fiorentina was one of his best. I don't quite remember that one, but I'll take your word for it. Gagliardini. So yeah, exactly. He didn't make any mistake. He hasn't taken this, with Conte, usually you expect these average players to take a next step, but he hasn't. In these 2 years of Conte, he hasn't taken that next step. He's always been one of the weaker points of the team. But this season, yeah, as Nick Snock says, he's been solid, good sub. Yeah, he's been an annoying sub at times in terms of, but that's not his fault. It's been Conte subbing him on when we've been winning like 1-0 or 2-1, and he subs him on, and we kind of sit back and kind of take the pressure rather than go forward. But he's been a solid addition to this team. And shouts out to Gallia, man. He gets a lot of abuse, but shouts out to him. Yeah, it's not his fault that he's not that into level, but he's done what is needed, and his name is etched in history forever now as a Scudetto winning player, providing good support, good contribution to this Scudetto winning team. So solid. As Ashrafi says, Gagliardini just provides muscle, zero footballing IQ, can't create, can't operate under pressure. But he did his job, guys. He did his job. That's all we can ask for an average player. He's our bouncer, and yeah, I guess so. I think that's one thing that annoys me about him. I feel like he could be a bit more physical. Like, he's got the size, but he never feels like he kind of uses that size to his advantage. Yeah, Sobgalia for Milinkovic Savic. What a dream! Imagine. But yeah, I'm happy to put him in the solid category. Yeah, good mental strength. Him, Ranocchia, these types of players that have received a lot of abuse over the years, but they've come back and showed that they deserve to be where they are. So shouts out to Gallia, man. Shouts out to Gallia. Solid category for Gallia. Yeah, I'm happy with him. And yeah, speaking of solid category, I think Ranocchia, solid category for me as well. Similar to Gagliardini, he hasn't had as many minutes because De Vrij barely stepped out of the team, and when he has been due to suspension or just been rested here and there. Only 704 minutes, but 8 starts. Was that 1 assist, 2 yellow cards, 7.07 rating on who scored. Yeah, I'm happy, and I think he's got a really good aerial win, doesn't he? Yeah, he's got the best aerial win per 90, 2.6. So doing the job that for his height he should be doing. So for me, Ranocchia has to be solid category, and just as we said with Gagliardini, the way he's come back from years of abuse, captaincy taken away from him, he's become such a solid alternative to De Vrij in the middle. Like when he has to step in for De Vrij, I'm not that worried, to be honest. So yeah, shouts out, happy for him, seeing him lift that Scudetto as well. In that, just doing his job, just like Ranocchia, solid alternative to our starters. So well done to both of those. Who else are we putting in the solid category? Someone mentioned D'Ambrosio. Let's talk about Danilo, Lord DD. This might be a bit controversial because I know he's a fan favorite, but I'm gonna put him in the meh category. And again, this might not be his fault because of his injuries, similarly to Sensi and Vecino. But also performance-wise, let's not forget, I feel like, the early season, flack was taken on by Kolarov. But let's not forget, in that Milan derby, he was getting flamed by Rafael Leao. Like the way Rafael Leao went past him so easily a lot of times, and that, our defense line was really high. It was not his fault, but Kolarov took main of that stick. But D'Ambrosio was pretty shaky in that part in that match as well. And then he had some injury issues, but he provided those goals as usual. Let's see, he's got, I think, as many goals as bloody Dybala. 3 goals, those far post goals. I think it was one against Cagliari. He had that one against Fiorentina, the first match of the season. And then there was another one at some point as well. Always clutch goals, this guy. Always comes through, but only 689 minutes, primarily substitute appearances. And when he plays, I don't have that same, I don't have that same confidence in him when he starts. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of 1v1, he's lost a lot of pace, and when he's been coming on, he's been like coming on as a wing back a lot of time, just for Darmian or for Perisic or for Hakimi, just to like close out a match. I don't know. For me, I know he's our clutch player, as you guys saying. Ashraf thinks he should be in the same category as Gagliardini. I think he's a solid squad player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he shouldn't be there, and I'm happy that it looks like he might be renewing his contract once again. But in terms of this season, because of his injuries, let me have a look at his injuries. Actually, Danilo D'Ambrosio. I think his lack of actual playing time just make it that for me just to be in the meh category. Let me have a quick look at his injury history from this season. Yeah, so he had that sideband injury. I think that was that Sampdoria match when we lost, and he came on and someone took him out. I think it was Mehdi Leris who took him out from behind. It was a dirty tackle, and he was out for 7 matches. And he's not even missed that many matches. He just hasn't been, with the coronavirus, so he just hasn't been particularly involved in the team. And it's been hard, that right centre-back position, which is now the Skriniar position. Skriniar has been the one who's owned that position. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to leave D'Ambrosio in the meh category. But as I said, guys, at the end, if you're really unhappy with that one, you can vote down below which one or whichever one you really disagree with, and you guys can vote. What about let's do one of the higher categories. I think our defense guys, all of them can't be below the great or MVP. They all have to be right up there. I think Skriniar for me is MVP level. He's just been, for me, he's just been our best defender. De Vrij, I'm gonna put him just below, and I know some of you guys might disagree with this one, but he had that one bad match where we conceded 2 goals against Parma, where he was at fault for both of those goals. And then obviously he was more present in the park because Skriniar missed the start of the season due to COVID. The first few matches we were struggling. So just for that reason, and the Skriniar's game-winning goals, let's not forget the game-winning goal against Atalanta, equalizing goal against Roma, game-winning goal against Hellas Verona, important goals in general. Just I don't remember one bad match from Skriniar. So for me, it just takes it a step above Stefan de Vrij, who was MVP level last year for us, and obviously won Serie A MVP. But this season, I think Christian Romero from Atalanta won the MVP. But I think it should have been Milan Skriniar as the MVP of Serie A. To be honest, what do you guys think on Skriniar and De Vrij there? I think I'm pretty certain on those two being right up there. And then Bastoni again, not quite MVP, but I think he's had a really, really great season. He's not been talked about enough because because of Kolarov being an awful alternative, he's had to play pretty much every single match like Skriniar. And he's had a great season. And I hope he gets minutes for Italy this summer at the Euros. Who else? Who shall we take a look at? Another MVP candidate, obviously, has to be Nicola Barella, and then we could decide, or I'll tell you guys which one is my MVP candidate or my actual MVP. Skriniar can also be one of the candidates for award of most improved player for sure as well, in my opinion. If we look back from last season, the struggles he had, which I think were a little bit exaggerated, but he's definitely one of the most improved players. But yeah, Nicola Barella, let's have a look at his stats. Barella, 3 goals, 7 assists in the league. One of the ever-present characters in the team. Let me go back to the actual whole team minutes, not just the Serie A, but the Champions League and Coppa Italia as well. Yeah, Barella, second most minutes, or the most minutes of the outfield players. So, just sheer presence and just being there all the time, not getting injured, not getting suspended apart from that one bit, improving on that discipline part, improving on his end product. Yeah, Nicola Barella, guys, easily MVP category. Oh yeah, good point. Bastoni had that one match, bad match against Juve in the Coppa. Was at fault for a couple of things, wasn't he? And then he had that one match against Sampdoria as well, where he got done for the goal from for Damsgaard, beat him a bit too easily for that goal. Again, I think it was the Keita Balde goal. But overall, Bastoni, great season. Going back to the tier list. Ooh, let me take the comment off. Going back to the tier list. Barella, MVP level for sure. And obviously Lukaku as well. Easy one there. I don't need to say anything more there, do I, guys? Most goals, contributions, most assists. Just a beast. Let's get into Ashley Young. Ashley Young, guys. He's an interesting one. I was tempted, until the last few weeks of the season, I was tempted to put him in the Schifo category because I was really unhappy with this season, but I think I'm going to put him in this meh category. He was at fault for a few things in the first half of the season, or until January, February. He conceded a penalty against Torino on single. It was a really awful penalty to concede. He was just showing lack of that experience that he should have been showing. It was a drop off in terms of form from last season. But he had a penalty conceded against Juventus in the Coppa Italia. It was a really silly penalty to give against Cuadrado. And then he lost his place quite rightly to Ivan Perisic. But when we look at his stats by the end of the season and last few weeks of the season, he's really improved his form. Got an assist against Sassuolo. And then he's ended the season with, let's have a look, he's ended the season with 1 goal and 4 assists, which isn't too shoddy, to be honest. 16 starts, 10 sub appearances. And in the end, he was the 11th most minutes in the team in the Serie A, so he was a key part of the team. But I'm going for the meh category here for Ashley Young. Just some saying a meh, some saying a solid. Ashraf saying is a solid squad player. Yeah, I'm not sure about keeping him, but yeah, you guys, if you follow me, you know my thoughts on Ashley Young. I'm not being particularly happy with him, but I'm happy with the contribution overall in his year and a half at Inter. Second season syndrome for Young, yeah. So for me, Ashley Young in the meh category. But yeah, happy to disagree. If you want to put him in the solid, you can put him in the solid. Speaking of left wing backs, for me, Ivan Perisic, solid season. I don't think there's much argument. I think if you're going to argue, really, you could be in the great category because his improvement since January was really good. But I feel like solid season is really fitting for him. Let's have a good look in his stats. 4 goals, 4 assists. So good return. And obviously, let's not forget he had to play a few matches in the striker role as well when Martinez was missing, and it's clearly not his role. But 10th in terms of minutes in the Serie A, and high up in terms of total minutes as well as Coppa Italia, Champions League. So he is part of that core team that won us the Scudetto, the starting 11 that won us the Scudetto. So he can't be lower than a solid for sure. So for me, even Perisic, solid category. Who else can we put in the solid category? I think Alexis Sanchez, another one, solid category. Didn't get as many minutes due to his injuries, and obviously he's not the starting forward. It's hard to displace Lautaro or Lukaku. But when you look at his actual goal contribution, assist contribution, just like last season, this guy 7 goals, 5 assists from only 12 starts, 18 sub appearances is a great return. And when you look at his shot creating actions, as we said, 5.58 per 90, great return. Let's have a look in terms of his shooting or goal creating actions. Goal assist per 90. If we look at that, after Lukaku, Alexis has 0.94. He's second after Lukaku in terms of goal or assist per 90. So great return. But because of his lack of playing time, which is not his fault, once again, it is Conte's fault, I feel like Sanchez is a solid season for me. I'm happy to put Sanchez, Alexis, El Niño Maravilla in the solid category. And then who else can we go for? I think Matteo Darmian. Has to go in the great category, guys. What do you think? I think Matteo Darmian has to go in the great category just in terms of how he came through at the end of the season. Numbers wise is not outstanding. 3 goals, 3 assists, but in terms of what the expectations were for Matteo Darmian, 14 starts, 12 appearances. He's not right up there in terms of the minutes. He's 14th in the Serie A for minutes played, but in those minutes, I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like Matteo Darmian, for what my expectations were, he's in the great season category. What do you guys think? Yeah, great. Matteo is great. He exceeded the expectations as a squad player. Yeah, I was expecting just a solid season, but a match-winning goal against Cagliari, and there was another match-winning goal somewhere at some point. He scored that goal against Genoa. When the season got tough, when the Perisic had to step out for injury, he scored that goal against Borussia Mönchengladbach as well. He stepped in when Bastoni wasn't there as left centre back against Sassuolo. I don't know if maybe it's just a bias because of how he finished the season, but I'm leaning towards a great season from Matteo Darmian, to be honest. Matty Doms. Yeah, I'm going to leave him in the great category, to be honest, just because there might be a bias of how he finished the season, but just the way he exceeded my expectations, I'm going to keep him in the great category for now. And moving on to another one that I think is, I think he just has to be, I think this is bang on. He's not MVP level, but he's had a great season, Lautaro Martinez. And I would disagree with anyone who says anything below that, because at the end of the day, yes, he had a difficult start to the season, missing a lot of chances. But at the end of the day, 17 goals and 6 assists. This is in the league. And overall, in terms of minutes played, he is, where is he? Yeah, he is 3rd, 6th, 7th in the most minutes played. Just always there, always subbed around the 65th, 70th minute to Sanchez. But the way this guy fights for the team, fights for the shirt, the grinta he puts on the pitch, is pressuring, his interceptions. He's there third best in terms of goal assists per 90. Dribbles completed. Let's have a look in terms of his goal creating actions. Or is he in terms of shot creating action? He's pretty mid in terms of shot creating actions, but let's see goal creating action. Yeah, he's pretty. So it's 0.53. Yeah, so every other match he has a goal creating action. Yeah, and I think like he has made the step up. Yeah, he still can improve finishing wise, but I think Lautaro is in the great season category. Indro says Damian is in the solid. Yeah, I know what his limitations are. I'm not saying this tier doesn't mean that I'm saying he's a great player, but I feel like he's had a great season, especially considering his the expectations we had. Thank you, Bilal, for joining and the compliment. Lautaro is great. His biggest moment is goal against Torino. Yeah, as Antonio says, Toro with a great season, major improvements on and off the ball. And and as you guys say, he has room for improvement. We know this guy, but this season, 23 years old, guys, this guy is going to be one of the elite strikers of the game. I just have so much faith in Lautaro being one of the great strikers of the future, whether he's at Inter or not. If he moves to Real Madrid or Barcelona, wherever he goes, this guy's going to be a great striker. Just give him some time. Now, this is a tricky one, guys. You need to help me out. Griezmann Eriksen. Where are we putting Griezmann? Because obviously he had those 6 months at the beginning where Conte didn't rate him, and I would have probably put him in the room for improvement or meh category for sure. But since January, he's become an integral part of the team. If you think of this Inter team, if you think of the best 11, Inter, Eriksen is in there. He finishes the season with not much goal contribution. Where is he? He finishes the season with 3 goals and 0 assists, which, you'd expect more from Christian Eriksen, but scoring game-winning goal against the Spezia, equalizer, or was it, like the goal to take the lead against Napoli. He just stepped up towards the end of the season in terms of the things I wanted him. That free kick against Milan to win the game, where obviously it was the change of his season. This is a tricky one. What are you guys saying with Eriksen? Solid. Eriksen is solid. He can be better. Solid. Yeah. I think, we can't give... He's a great player, but we can't give him great season just because of those first 5-6 months, which, you could say is Conte's fault, but it's also his fault for, struggling to integrate into the team. So I agree. I think Eriksen goes in the solid category, but yeah, I'm looking forward to see what Inzaghi can do with him, whether he can do what he did with Luis Alberto with Christian Eriksen. So Christian Eriksen, solid season. Now with our crypto lord, Marcelo Brozovich, our bomb tattoo merchant, our flailing arms merchant. I think he's had a bit of an underrated season, to be honest, Marcelo Brozovich. In terms of contributions, not as much contribution as he did last season. I think he had like 7 goals and 7 assists and 3 or 4 goals last season, because I think he takes less corners as well with the introduction of Christian Eriksen. But 2 goals, 6 assists, still good contribution for your sitting midfielder, your regista. Improved his discipline, and he's up there in terms of his contribution, in terms of he's always up there in terms of his passing. Let's see, in terms of passes attempted, he's second in the team in terms of passes attempted. Passes completed, he is third. He's the metronome of the team. What else we can look at in terms of Marcelo Brozovich? Let's see in terms of his defensive actions. Yeah, this will be interesting one. Tackles, he's up there. Percentage of tacklers, yeah, not great. Pressure percentage. Interception, this should be high. Yeah, interception is second. But yeah, for me, Brozovich, he wouldn't be in the. He's definitely not MVP level, but I don't know. I feel like he's had a great season, to be honest. Ooh, shouts for MVP for Brozovich. A lot of MVP shouts for Brozovich. I'm surprised, actually. Yeah, he can't be less than great, to be honest. I don't think he can be solid. Been on best midfielder is Manchester. Wow, okay. Because when I see on Twitter, most people don't seem to appreciate Brozovich that much, but you guys are appreciating Brozovich, which I like. Brozovich is one of my favorite players in the team, and you're making it interesting picking his tier for me. But I don't know. I don't think I can put him in the MVP tier. It's a difficult one because I feel like Barella's definitely the MVP tier. I think he's had a great season. I don't know. And he had that beginning. Let's not forget he had a struggle at the beginning as well with the in the 3-4-1-2. He looked lost in the beginning of the season. He had not made. Yeah, he was not good at the beginning. I was almost I was quite disappointed with him at the start of the season. But obviously, it was not completely his fault because that formation just does not suit him. He has to be the regista in that defensive mid position. So I'm gonna put him in the great category. I know it seems like most of you disagreeing with me on here, but I'm gonna go with the great category. But yeah, he is very, very underrated. I agree. When you ask Serie A fans in general, no one really mentions Brozovich. No one mentions Brozovich. Yeah, I agree, Ashraf. I like the community I've built up on this channel. I don't ever get many stupid comments or comments that I'm like, really disagreeing with because everyone knows ball, or there's obviously I can disagree with you guys on things, but I feel like it's a good football understanding community, you guys, and that's why I appreciate coming on live and just having a conversation with you guys and reading your comments, because I feel like you guys do have a good understanding of things. I go on other channels and I can see comments on other channels of Juve fans and things where it doesn't seem like they really know what they're talking about. So shouts out to you guys for being a good community. Yes, Adrian Silva. I am from I was born in India, but I didn't grow up there. I grew up in Italy and now living in the UK. Getting to the nitty-gritty, almost to the 1 hour mark here. I was hoping to get to the 1 hour, but we're going to go just over. Ashraf Akimi, guys. Let's finish off with Ashraf Akimi and Samir Handanovic. I think Hakimi, he can't be below the great level for sure. He has to be in the great category. He's up there in terms of, I think he's third. Yeah, he's third in terms of goal and assist provision, providing goals and assists. 7 goals, 8 assists. That is crazy contribution from a wing back, guy. It's crazy, and there's a lot of room for improvement. Similar to Lautaro, we know this guy can hit even higher heights. In terms of minutes in the league, he's 7th. He was the core part. Even though at the beginning he was in and out of the team, Conte was trying to give him, the Serie A lesson in how to defend, how to be, a Serie A defender, learning how to defend. He had that stinker against Real Madrid, both matches, not great against his old team. He had that dip towards the endish of the season, but then finished strongly once again. Athletically, such a big addition to this team. 6.98 rating on here. Yeah, I think I'm going to put him in the great category. Yeah. Solid, between solid and great. Great. Sadly, Hakimi, when I say his pick at MVP. Ooh, Ashrafi, you're disagreeing with me on a few, but we're not too far off. He's saying he definitely, I agree, he has that extra dimension. And I'm gonna have to check his dribbling stats. Yeah, actually, let's check his dribbling stats as I'm with you right here. I'm actually interested to see. I don't think because of how we play, I don't think he actually takes on many players because we're one of the least dribbling teams in the league. Let me see where the dribbling stats would be found here. How do I find dribbling? Would that be in miscellaneous stats, maybe? Fouls drawn. Let's see how many fouls drawn. Yeah, he's up there in terms of fouls drawn. He's 37 fouls drawn. So, he's good at winning free kicks in dangerous areas for us. Possession. Nutmegs. He's our highest nutmegs. So, yeah, he gets a lot for that. Carries. Total distance. Progressive distance carried. Yeah, he's up there in progressive distance carried. Carries that enter the final third. He's up there. Third, he's there. Carries into the 18-yard box. Look at that. Yeah, 36. So he's right up there. Dribbles. So let's see. Yeah, he's fourth in terms of dribble success. Dribbles attempted. He's third. Let's see dribble success. Pinamonti De Vrij kind of skewed because they don't attempt that many. Oh yeah, Barella's high up there. Yeah, he's not particularly high up there in terms of success, but 53, that's still pretty good because he attempts quite a bit. So yeah, I'm gonna keep him in the great category just because we know there's so much room for improvement still. But the way he's come into this team and added the extra dimension has just been a great season. He's been a great addition to the team. Now, final one, guys. Samir Handanovic. This is it was a slow start as well. Handa solid. Yeah, we'll speak about the Italy and the Euros in a separate videos. Let's stick to these tier list. Handanovic is a tough one. Smiley, I know you're a Handanovic fan as well, so is you saying Meh is a big show of his real. Is when you look at save percentage and all these things, Handanovic is up there, but he doesn't face that many shots. He's just not had a good season for me, Handanovic. I think he has to be. He's not in the Kiskifo. I don't think he's in the Kiskifo category because he's not had a bad season. Let's not forget he had those important saves against Juventus, against Napoli. Here and there he's made good saves, but some performances have not been good. He's dropped some clangers. But I think Meh is the right category for Handanovic, our captain. And we're happy that he's lifted the trophy after a long time waiting. I'm going Meh with Handanovic. Ooh, solid King Dorian saying. Solid Malinovsky. Yeah, he has been overhated. Still one of the best. Yeah, I remember we're not. This list doesn't mean that Handanovic is a meh keeper or he's not a great keeper. It's just that in terms of this season, I feel like he's been a detriment. I think, and a detriment. Thank you, how Kuwait's to come into support. Solid just because he's the captain. Yeah, I guess because he's ever present, you could say just because he's there every single match. He is a difficult one. Yeah, no one can fight Mother Nature. I don't know. You guys are swaying me on this. But shouts out to you, bro, for always being here. But Handanovic, quite a good game. Some important games like Milan. Oh yeah, that triple save against Milan as well. If you guys, let's. So I'm going to show you. This is my final tier list. This is my final tier list. You guys, and then I'm going to pick my MVP and my most improved player. you guys pick one guy that you guys think has to be moved. So comment below a name that you guys are just completely disagreeing with. Go now, and I'm gonna move that guy from, and then we're gonna vote for which category he should be in. So give the power to the people. It seems like a lot of people disagreeing with the Handanovic one, to be honest. So it might have to be the Handanovic. If I have to be the Handanovic, if you guys comment that Handanovic has to be moved from meh to solid, I'm gonna move him. Kolarov to MVP. I'm not doing that one. Let's not. Uriel says Lautaro to MVP. Interesting. Gags to meh Uche. I think most people will disagree with you on that. Yeah. Brozo to MVP, Barella to great. Ooh, Barella to great. Wow, I thought everyone loved Barella. I thought everyone was gonna be saying that Barella should win the MVP easily. I'm quite surprised. Handa solid. White Pogba needs to go down. Brozo MVP. It seems to be mainly since I know he's been hated for being injury prone, but nobody can deny that when he's fit, he's always. Oh yeah, as I said. Especially me, if I love Sensi. If you ask me for a shirt number, and I don't even get names at the back, but Sensi is one of the guys I would get the name at the back of the shirt if he wasn't so injury prone. But I don't know, it's just left me with a big disappointment. It seems like from what I'm seeing is more. I've got a few Handanovic. I think the Handanovic was the most disagreement I got, so I'm gonna move Handanovic. Due to popular demand to the solid category. And he was, part of the starting. I think everyone, yeah, you guys are right. If everyone that's been in the starting 11 and he has the most minutes in the team, he has to be by default. That part of that core team has to be a minimum as solid, doesn't it? Because they were the ones that provided the win at the end of the day. So you guys win. Handanovic, solid category. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. With that tier list, finishing off with my, as I said, my most disappointing player was Stefano Sensi, just due to the injuries. I thought he could get over it. I know it's not really his fault, but he has disappointed me in that. And then Vidal was a close second in that one in terms of disappointing performance. I think most improved players, it was between Eriksen, Skriniar, and you could say, Perisic improving, becoming a brand new player as a wing back is also deserves a shout. But I'm gonna give it to. I know on Twitter I've said that saying that Eriksen has improved means that he was some sort of bomb or something before. But I'm gonna give most improved to Skriniar. I think going from not so looking like he might even leave to being for me Serie A MVP centre back in that right centre back position. It has to be Milan Skriniar for me. Let's see what you guys are saying. Most improved Eriksen. Yeah, you agreeing with me and Smiley in terms of Perisic. Yeah, Nainggolan, but I didn't have much hope for him or expectation for him. But yeah, so for me, Eriksen second, and then Skriniar first in terms of most improved players. But it could be, you guys, making good points in terms of becoming a substitute. But it just doesn't sit right with me, the fact that, just Conte actually playing him means that he's improved. I just feel like, he's always been a great player. And it's still I feel like, Eriksen, I think this is Skriniar's, best level. But with Eriksen, he can reach an even higher level. You know what I mean? So I feel like for me, it's Skriniar, most improved player there. So most disappointing player for me, Sensi. Most improved player, Skriniar. MVP for me, I know you guys are saying there's a few saying Barella. There was a few Brozovich. There's also a De Vrij MVP shout. Barella MVP shout, but as Uriel says here, and that's the main reason why I am going for, and it has to, I think it just has to be Romelu Lukaku, guys. Big Rom. Most goals, most contributions, but not just that, not just stats wise, leadership wise. That match against Milan where he had that beef with Zlatan, I thought he was losing his head, but no, he used that in the match, scoring the penalty. And then since then, Zlatan's season went downhill and Lukaku just went upwards. He's right up there in terms of shot creating action, goal creating action. His back to goal plays improved so much. Scoring in big games. Let's not forget the one thing that people have been on his back for. Even for Belgium, man, this guy's become massive. It just has to be Lukaku for me, the MVP of the season. And I'm not really. I don't think I'm gonna particularly change my mind on that. I think it just has to be Lukaku. But I'm not gonna be really against you guys if you think it's Skriniar. Between those three, between Barella, Skriniar, and Lukaku, I'm happy with any of those three. And also, if you say Brozovich or even De Vrij, I'm happy with any of those guys. But yeah, as Amara says here, the mental improvement for Lukaku this season has been great, and will be interesting to see if he can do that without Pintus, without Conte next season. Yeah, you could say there's an MVP in every position from defense. Yeah, that's how I've done it. We've got the MVP in attack, Lukaku, Barella, and Skriniar. That was my thinking as well. What about in terms of worst signing? Kolarov, as I said, he was the worst signing. Easy one there. Close second, you could say, Vidal, of course, but he was a free transfer, and I think we have to pay a 1 million add-on now to Barcelona because there was a add-on if we won the Scudetto. But as I said, that was a little bit of a bias. So it can't be Vidal for me; it has to be Kolarov. And yeah, Ivo, I agree. I think under Inzaghi, I'm interested to see. I don't think some people are saying that without Conte and Pintus, he's not going to be anything. I think he's made that switch now permanently in his mentality. Yeah, you could say Pinamonti as well, but the Pinamonti was already decided like last season that he was going to come back, and it's more of like a financial thing. It's not really his fault. Conte didn't rate him. It's a little bit harsh to give it to Pinamonti, but financially, yeah, it's an awful signing. I know you guys are going to say Vidal because the salary and things, but as I said, that goal against that mentality he brought, the goal against Juve, and I feel like he's not been as bad in terms of Kolarov overall, but he's also had those injury issues, so he's a close second, I think, Vidal, but it has to be Kolarov for me. We paid 1.5 or 2 million to Roma as well. He's on not as high salary as Vidal. I think he's only like 2 or 3 million, but just bad, man, just bad. Who else? We could say who young player of the season. It could be between Bastoni or Hakimi. Is a difficult one. But either of those. I think out of those two, I'm gonna give it to Bastoni just for the his. I think he's a little bit younger than Hakimi, and just for the consistency. Hakimi's at a bit of up and down. I feel like Bastoni's been just great overall. He's just been always there, and one of the best centre backs in the league. And obviously Hakimi as well. If you say Hakimi, I'm not going to argue with you. He's been the best right wing back in the league. So I'm going to give Hakimi and I'm going to give Bastoni our Young Player of the Season award too. Who else? What are the categories there? It's really. What about underrated? I saw someone said Darmian, but I feel like Darmian's got his flowers by the end of the season. Everyone was loving Darmian by the end of the season because of the goals he was doing. I think what Darmian could be for me the best signing of the season. Financially speaking, we paid for Darmian, I believe we paid 2.5 million to Palma. So wages wise, I think he's only earning like 1.52 million. So cost basis, Darmian is the best cost basis signing, I think. But best signing has to be Ashraf Akimi. You know what he's added, the goals and assists, and the main, you know, the way he's come into the team. Ashraf Akimi is the signing of the season, but I think if you look at it on a financial basis, Darmian is the signing of the season. Who was underrated? Yeah, Ranocchia deserves a shout for, you know, an underrated non-starter young player. That's the problem we have at the moment. We don't really have much non-starting. Our core of the team is young-ish, but we don't really have other young players that are coming through. I think Brozovich can have, because a lot of you guys were shouting for Brozovich as MVP. I think Brozovich deserves the shout for, you know, most underrated, because he's just been there the whole time. Underrated Perisic. Yeah, the guys, let's not forget Perisic was getting a lot of abuse. I know sometimes I can be a bit biased because I see a lot of abuse on Twitter, but you guys seems to be a little bit more balanced here. But Perisic was not liked at the beginning of the season. People were saying he should leave. I was one of the few guys pushing for Perisic over Young, and it's been like a personal victory of getting Perisic winning the race over Young. Obviously, not particularly big, like a difficult race winning over Young, but still. Let's not forget Perisic is had an underrated season. Shouts out to him for adapting to the role, to a brand new role, having the humbleness to adapt to that role and becoming, you know, an important player. You know, again, he's a starter for now until we sign a proper left wing back. He's the starter right now for Inter at the left wing back. Biggest overperformance, yeah, I think Darmian for me, biggest overperformance. He's just taken me. I always expected with a Conte wing back. I always have trust in Conte with these average wing backs, but Darmian with these match-winning goals has surprised me for sure. And Perisic adapting to the left wing back better than expected. Who else has overperformed? I would say. Who else has overperformed? I don't think there's been particular overperformers that have been struck me too much. You know, Sanchez, the way he comes on off the bench, you know, he surprises me a lot of the times. You know, the way he gets to combine still with the few minutes he has, he always manages to get some sort of goal or assist. But there's not too much of a surprise, really. He's a quality player, always has been. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. 1 hour 17 is a bit longer than I expected. That's a bit longer than I actually wanted to. I was hoping for one hour, but you guys have been so active. I'm very grateful for you guys for being so active. I'm losing my voice, so I'm gonna have to go before I'll actually lose it permanently. MVP / great player willing to sacrifice. Yeah, I spoke about it in the previous videos. I think it's a hard one. It then comes down to personal preference, but for me, it would be Lautaro, even though I love him. But I feel like with Lautaro, you can replace him somewhat in the footballing world. If you can get 70, 80 million for him, you can make a big plus valenza, capital gain on him, because he's been at the club for 2 or 3 years now. So his cost on the book is low, and his demand is high because he's had another good season. And we know the demand is high already in terms of Barcelona want him, the Man City, Real Madrid links. There's players out there available in that role that you could adapt to. It doesn't have to be a second striker, pure second striker like we've had. You can be a bit more creative in that role. You know, you got the likes of Memphis Depay available in the free. Belotti is available for 20, 30 million. You know, you got other names out there that I can't think of right now, but there is, you know, if you want to create creative, you know, that Cunha guy from Hertha Berlin, more of a winger type player. You know, you can get a little bit more creative. Whereas with Hakimi, the drop off is just massive, you know, in terms of when you lose Raspadori for the striker as well. with Hakimi, the drop off from the best in his role is massive. Lukaku as well. The financially doesn't make too much sense because there's that 15% add-on fee that we have, or sell-on fee that we have to give to United on the books. We paid 70 something million, so you're not going to make much of a capital gain on Lukaku even if you do sell him. So yeah, I think ideally to me is Lautaro, but if PSG come in for 70-80 million for Hakimi, it makes sense to that. You have to do it. You have to that's the one sacrifice that helps you out this time round. It might have to be just the L that we have to take, but ideally to me is Lautaro, but I don't want to sell any of them. It would be someone like Eriksen, who's on high wages. We can get rid of high wages, and there's a bit of demand for him, but then it doesn't do much capital gain wise. The likes of Brozovich, De Vrij, but again, there's not much demand. Maybe, yeah, Brozovich, De Vrij, because you make pretty much straight capital gain on those guys. Those type of guys is straight capital gain. But hopefully we can focus on selling the likes of Gagliardini, Vecino, João Mario, Nainggolan, those types of fringe players. Kolarov moving, Cavidal moving, at least moving those wages out. Oh yeah, Nikos Kostic. I want Kostic. If you follow me on this channel on Twitter, I've been calling for Kostic for 2 seasons now. I prefer Kostic over Gosens. I like Gosens, but I'm not a fan of him aesthetically, and that Atalanta Gasperini tax, and they're going to want 40 million for him, 34 million. I've always been on the Kostic train, so if that is possible, I'm all on board on Kostic coming in. He's instant improvement on Perisic. The numbers this guy's been putting up, I know that's that Bundesliga tax, but the numbers that guy's been putting up is elite numbers for 2 or 3 seasons now. And yeah, I think he's going to do bits in the Serie A. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining. I really need to go. My voice is going. 1 hour 20 minutes of talking to you guys. It's been enjoyable. Keep a lookout, guys. If you're an Italy fan, I'm going to do Italy content for the Euros because I'm going to be supporting the Azzurri. First match, obviously, against Turkey. I'm gonna do match reaction like I do for Inter. Might even do some watch-alongs. Let's see how things work out. But yeah, expect some Euro content. Maybe, maybe some other teams as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be Italy, but I'll try to continue making Inter content in terms of the news and stuff. Make sure to leave a thumbs up, guy, before you leave. Helps out the channel. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. If you've come from the Rabona TV plug, if you've come from IFTV, any new followers, I appreciate you. The old followers always love you guys. And yeah, guys, always Forza Inter. Ciao.